The annual Southern Africa Telecommunication Network and Applications Conference, also known as SATNAC, is underway in the Drakensberg in KwaZulu-Natal. That conference serves as a platform for masters and PhD students to exhibit their ideas to government and industry players. Let's get more on this with SABC News Economics Senior Economics reporter Nompumelelo Siziba. A very good afternoon to you, Nompumelelo. Lots of ideas floating around behind you. I can see something that looks very high-tech. Take us through what's happening there.
It's all very high-tech with lots of ideas buzzing here at SATNAC. That's the Southern Africa Telecommunications Networks and Application Conference that's taking place here in the Drakensberg. It's the first day of a two-day conference. Behind me we have my colleague Anke, who is one of the instrumental people in ensuring that this broadcast happens. She's on a 9D virtual reality simulator, and no doubt we'll hear her having fun a bit later as that gets going. Oh, there she goes. There she's imagining that she's going through lots of mountains and troughs, and she's going to be having fun. But now in the meantime, I'm going to be speaking with Lunga Siyo. He's the CEO at Telkom Consumer and Small Business. Lunga, thank you very much for joining me now. Some of the presentations that we saw in the hall where the conference is taking place, they talked about how telcos are really leading the pack in terms of adapting AI, artificial intelligence. Just expand on that for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as telcos, we've got lots and lots of customers, right? We've got lots of opportunities as well. And I think for us, it's about how do we actually evolve the actual AI tools to actually serve our customers better, but also to be in the need to know in terms of customer experience as well, where we potentially can create products that are personal to our own customers as well. So it allows us to gather a whole lot of data and actually create what I usually call just personalized customer value propositions for our own customers, so that whatever you buy from us, it actually meets your own needs as well.
So give us a practical example of how Telkom is using that data to improve the customer experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's look at the web, the world of web, right? Most people are always on their phone, either on socials, and are talking to each other, and they see some sort of an ad, right, or on socials around some sort of a deal that a telco is offering. You click on it, in essence, and then it tells you about this very nice phone, iPhone 13 or 12, with this data package that you can potentially buy from us, and you actually just leave it, right? You leave it, you don't do anything about it. 2-3 days later, if you've actually found that data and information, by the time you walk into our store, we can create a profile of who you are as Nonki and what potentially you've been doing on the web that could talk to the very proposition that we can offer you as well. I don't know if you've ever noticed, at times we'd actually ask customers, how much data do you need? And half the time customers don't know, right? But we can actually farm that data from how you actually interact in the social media space and be able to tell how much data you actually need and actually offer you a package that's actually tailor-made for your own needs as a customer as well. But we also see it in the self-care space, right? Sometimes you're in a call contact center and you're sitting on the queue where potentially could go on the web and actually, chat with a chatbot in essence in terms of solving your own problem as well. That has evolved as a technology from when chatbots would basically just answer what you basically, questioning them, to where they actually are much more interactive as well, right? They actually understand who you are, what are your needs, what you could potentially be actually struggling with, and actually give you some really practical advice in terms of how you can solve for it, in essence. And that's the evolution that we've seen as telcos. That's why we're adapting the technology a lot more faster than most of other industries, because we deal with a lot of customers, with a lot of data, with a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of customer touch points that we have to deal with, and there's a lot of training we have to do to our own people, whereas we could actually be using some of these technologies to actually automate a whole lot of processes, but also create delightful experiences for our own customers without having a human touch. Doesn't mean that it's going to replace humans, but it works efficiently than humans. So in most instances, we actually take a human being and actually attach it to a technology to create a better customer experience for our own customers. And that's how we actually apply this.
This sounds all marvelous. You can give us a better customer experience because of all this data. But then on the downside as well, data can be abused. What is it that Telkom does to ensure that that doesn't happen?
Yeah, first and foremost, there's POPI in the country. We always make sure that we never share any customer data. And actually, when we're even analyzing your own data, we can't even see what you're doing on social media. We can tell you've been on this platform at this time and this is how much time you've actually spent. So we secure that data. We actually have to do that. However, we've also been engaging as industry as well. We would like to engage the rulers of the country or government in this instance to tighten the regulation around AI and some of these technologies as well, in terms of how it could be used. There's serious issues around ethics as well, in terms of, think about generative AI these days, where potentially they can generate an image of you sitting somewhere in KZN, in Drakensberg, well, I guess enjoying beer, whatever you're enjoying, at that particular time, without really getting the permission from you to actually use your own image, in essence. And that image could basically be abused on so many other platforms. So those are some of the things that are really challenging, the country and also the industry as well, in terms of how we actually utilize this technology. And we've got to develop rules around it. The issue with technology is that it develops so much fast, and regulation usually lags because, of how we actually create, the laws in the country. They have to go through a parliamentary process. So we're trying to influence a lot the parliamentarians, the government, the lawmakers, the regulators, to actually be on the, let's call it, to be almost like be fast in terms of how they regulate, so that they develop regulations around these things, so that it can create frameworks, right, for people that are utilizing it, to make sure that we don't end up doing the wrong things, right, in essence.
Indeed. Lunga, thank you so much for your time. That was Lunga Siyo. He's the CEO at Telkom Consumer and Small Business, just giving us some insights on the whole issue of artificial intelligence, the good and the bad, and talking about regulation, how important it is to have regulation in place to deal with the negative side effects of new technologies. The government is here in the shape and form of the Deputy Minister of the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies, and he did say that there is a collaboration that's taking place between government and industry and other sector players in the ICT space around formulating regulation that will help to prevent the nasty side of this particular digital technology. We are here in the exhibition centre, where hopefully we're also going to get to speak to some of the students who are here. There are doctoral and master's students here who have ideas that they release on a paper that are peer reviewed, and then the industry specialists will also look at them, and the hope is that some of their ideas can actually be turned into a solid product down the line that you and I may use in the future.